Friends, today I am starting second unit. Second topic in second unit, and that name is the three questions. This topic has been written by Leo Tolstoy. This topic has been written by Leo Tolstoy. Let's first learn about Leo Tolstoy. Then I start this lesson. This lesson is very inspiring lesson, which give us the best moral in our life. Look about Leo Tolstoy. Was born in 1828 and passed in 1910. Was a Russian writer who is regarded as one of the greatest authors of all time. Leo Tolstoy was a Russian writer, and that writer has been regarded as one of the greatest authors of all time, as he had started his writing since so early age of his life. So he is regarded as one of the greatest authors of all time. He first achieved literary approval. Acclaim means approval in his 20s with his semi-autobiographical trilogy, means childhood, boyhood and youth. It means he has achieved his authorship in his 20s, means he has been regarded as the author in so early age, that is in 20, with his semi-autobiographical trilogy, childhood, boyhood and youth. It means he has written his semi-autobiographical trilogy, which is about his childhood, boyhood and youth. It means Leo Tolstoy has started his writing in a very early age of his life. Now look, this topic, namely three questions, is a parable. Now what is meaning of parable? A parable is a short story with a moral lesson. Parable means a short story which has a moral lesson at the end of that story. A parable usually has human characters, and one of the characteristics of parable is that parable has human characters. Human characters play roles in that parable, in that story. That is one of the characteristics of this kind of story, parable. This parable concerns a king who wants to find the answers to what he considers to be the three most important questions in life. And this parable story is related with a king who wants to find answers of his three questions, which he considers the most important questions in his life. So this topic has been named as three questions, because this topic has been totally surrounded with three questions of the king. That king was so eager to find out the answers of the three questions. So this topic is totally related with those three questions. This topic is totally surrounded with these three questions. Look, what are those three questions and what are their answers. I start this lesson. Pay attention properly. Pay attention at each and every line. Once a certain king had an idea. Once there was a king and he thought an idea, he got an idea. If he always knew the right time to begin everything, if he knew who were the right people to listen and who to avoid the most important thing to do, he would never fail in anything that he would undertake, and above all, if he always knew what was the most undertaken. Look. Once the king thought that if he always knew what is the right time for every action, if he always knew what is the right time for every action, if he understood who are the right people to listen and to whom to avoid, and if he knew the most important thing to do, then if he knew all these three things in his life, then he thought that he would never fail in anything in his life. Also, he would understand what to do and what not to do due to those three things. Look, once the king thought if he knew what is the right time to begin everything, if he knew who were the right people to listen and who to avoid the most important thing to do, then he would never fail in anything that he would undertake, and above all, if he always knew what was the most undertake. It means he would never fail in anything which he would undertake if he knew those three things. Have you understood those three things? If he knew the right time, if he knew who were the right people, and what is the most important thing to do. Since he was convinced that he was right in thinking this way, he had a proclamation. Proclamation means a public announcement, an official announcement made in his kingdom. When he thought that he was right in thinking that way, at that time he made one official announcement in his kingdom. When after a realization of those three things, he understood that he is right in thinking in those ways, then he made an official announcement, he made a public announcement in his kingdom. He would give a great reward to anyone who would teach him what the right time was for every action, who the most necessary people were, and how he might know the most important thing to do. Look, what was that announcement? He announced that he would give a reward to anyone who would teach him what the right time was for every action, who are the most necessary people, and what is the most important thing in our life. It means that king declared one reward for three questions. If anyone gave the right answers of his three questions, then he would give reward to that person. That person would be rewarded in that kingdom. What were those three questions? First question is, what is the right time for every action? Second question is, who are the most necessary people in our life? And third question is, what is the most important thing to do? The king wanted the answers of these three questions, so he made that announcement. He was very eager to find out answers of those three questions because he had sensed that if he was right in thinking in those ways, then he would never fail in anything which he would undertake. He would get always success. So he was very eager to find out answers of those three questions. Once again, I tell you those three questions. First question was, what is the right time to begin every action? Second question is, who are the most necessary people in our life? And third question is, what is the most important thing to do for us? Then, look what happened. Who gave him the right answers of three questions. Most learned people came to the court, but they all gave different answers. After listening that announcement, after listening that proclamation, a lot of talented, learned people gathered in that court, but unfortunately, they all gave different answers. Because each person with his skill or her skill gave different answers. Look, what are their actions? There were many talented scholars, but according to their talent, according to their skill, they gave different answers. Look, what are the answers for first question? In reply to the first question, some say that to know the right time for every action, one must draw in advance of table of dates, months and years, and must live strictly according to it. For first question, some replied that if the king wanted to know the right time for every action, then the king must do planning according to days, months and years, and the king must follow that plan. For first question, someone replied that if king wanted to know the right time for every action, then the king must follow the fixed timetable of days, months and years, and the king must follow it. Others declare that it was impossible to decide beforehand the right time for every action, but that not letting oneself be absorbed in idle pastime, one should always attend to all that was going on, and then do that was most essential. Look, second scholar replied that it is impossible to know the right time for every action beforehand. So, that person, that scholar suggested that instead of getting involved in idle pastime, instead of wasting our time, one should attend to all what was going on. Look, what is the reply of second scholar? Second scholar replied that it is not possible to tell what is the right time beforehand. So, instead of wasting our time in such other activities, instead of wasting our time in idle pastimes, one must attend to all what was going on. Then do that was most essential. And then after following what are going on, they should do that thing which is most essential. Yet others say that it was impossible for one man to decide correctly the right time for every action, and that the king should instead have a council of wise people who would help him to fix the proper time for everything. Third person replied differently. Third person replied differently. Look, what did he reply? He replied as like second scholar, it is impossible to decide correctly right time for every action. So the king should have the council of wise people, and those people would fix the proper time for everything. It means second scholar suggested the king to have the company of wise people. They would advise him, they would fix the right time for everything, as like secretary, as like personal secretary. Third scholar suggested the king should have the council of wise people. He should take the consult of wise people who would fix the proper time for the king. In this way, for first question, the king got different answers from different scholars. Now, what's about second question? Equally varied were answers to the second question. For second question, the king got different answers as that first question. Equally varied were answers to the second question. Some said the king most needed were his counselor. What was the second question? Who are the most essential people, who are the most necessary people? And look, for that second question, the king got varied answer. Some said the king most needed were his counselor, others the priest, others the doctors, while some said warriors were the most necessary. Some said the king most needed his counselors, others said the king needed the priest, others suggested the doctors are most necessary for the king. In this way, for second question also, the king got different answers. Some said the warriors were the most necessary, and some suggested the king needed the warriors. The king needed the warriors. Look again. For second question, the king got different answers. Some suggested his counselors are most needed person. Some suggested the priests are most essential people. Some suggested the king needed the doctors, whereas some suggested the warriors were the most necessary for the king. In this way, different scholars gave different answers to that second question. Now look about third question. What is the third question? What is the most important thing? What is the most important occupation for every person? To third question about what was the most important occupation, some replied that the most important thing in the world was science. The third question was, what was the most important occupation? And for that third question, someone replied that the most important thing in the world was science. Someone suggested science was the most important thing in the life for the king. Others said it was skill in warfare. Warfare means war, battle. thus suggested it was skill in war. Others again that it was religious worship. Someone suggested that the most important occupation in one's life was religious activities, to do worship, religious activities, religious worship. Look, for third question also, the varied answers were there. The king was convinced by none of these answers and gave the reward to none. Look, after listening the answers for 3 questions, the king was not satisfied with those answers. So, he didn't give the reward to anyone. The king was not satisfied. The king was not happy with those answers. So, he didn't give the reward to none. Then look, what did he do to get his answers? He asked different scholars and talented people after making public announcement in the kingdom. But they gave different varied answers for those questions. And the king was not satisfied with those answers, so he didn't give reward to anyone. Now look, what did he do there? He decided instead to go to hermit who was widely renowned for his wisdom, renowned, famous. Look, then he decided to go to hermit. Hermit means a person living in recluse life, lonely life, holy person. In short, holy person living lonely life after sacrificing all luxuries in their life, and such holy person means hermit. Then the king decided to go to hermit who was widely renowned for his wisdom, who was widely famous for his wisdom. The hermit lived in a small hut in a forest which he never left. Look, that hermit was very famous for his talent, for his wisdom. Wisdom means cleverness or talent. And look, where was he living? The hermit lived in a small hut in a forest which he never left. Look, the hermit was living in a small hut. The hermit was living in a small hut in a forest which he never left. Means he was living a lonely life. He spoke only to common folk. He spoke to only commoners. He spoke only to common folk. So the king put, look, he would speak, he means hermit would speak with only commoner, with only common people, with not rich people, with not earthly kings. So king knew it. King understood, king sensed that the hermit just talks with common people. So the king put on simple clothes and approaching the hermit's cell means a small room, dismounted, got off his horse and left his bodyguard behind. So the king wore simple clothes. So king wore simple clothes, and when he reached near the hermit's hut, at that time he got off from his horse and left his bodyguard behind. Why did he do? Because he did not want to be as like king. He did not want to show himself as a king in front of hermit. He wants to be a commoner, so he changed his attire after reaching the hut of hermit, he got off from his horse and he left his bodyguard behind. He just wanted to meet hermit as a commoner, not as a king, so he did those activities. First of all, he changed his attire from commoner to king. From king to commoner. Then after getting off from horse, he went into the hermit's hut by keeping his bodyguard at some distance from that hut. Now look what happened. When the king arrived, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. When king arrived, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. He greeted the king but went on digging. As soon as the king reached the hermit's hut, he greeted the king with smiling or with some words. That hermit greeted, when hermit saw the king, he smiled, just smiled, and he continued his digging. Hermit was digging in front of his hut. When he saw the king reach the hut, at that time he just smiled but went on digging. He didn't, means hermit didn't speak with king, just smiled and continued his digging. The hermit was frail, soft and weak, and each time he struck the ground with a spade and turned over a little earth, he breathed heavily. Look, the hermit was very soft, the hermit was very weak. The hermit was very weak in head. He was looking very soft. Each time he struck the ground with a spade and turned over a little earth, he breathed heavily. Means while digging those pits, he was getting tired. So after some while, he would thrust that spade in the ground and he would take rest for some time, and he would breathe heavily for relaxation, for proper respiration, because due to his weak health he was getting tired after doing some work. The king went up to him and said, "I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. Then the king reached near to the hermit and said, "I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. As soon as reaching near the hermit, the king told hermit that he had reached there, he had gone there to ask answers of his 3 questions. How can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? The king asked his first question. How could he learn the right thing? To do right thing at the right time? Look, he asked his first question. How could he learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I most need? He asked second question. Who were the most necessary people for him? Who were the most necessary people for him, and to whom should I therefore pay most attention? It means he asked his second question. Who were the most necessary people for him? And what affairs are the most important and need my first attention? And the third question is, what was the most important work to do? What was the most important important occupation to do. In this way, the king asked his three questions and he expected the right answers from the hermit. Now look, what was the reply of his three questions? The hermit listened to the king but said nothing. The hermit listened to the king but said nothing. Just he listened those three questions patiently but didn't reply. He just listened those questions very calmly but said nothing. He just spat on his hand and resumed digging. Continued. He just spat on his hand. Spat is the past form of spit. He just spat on his hand and continued digging. The king watched in silence for a while. The king was watching the activities of hermit. He watched in silence for a while. Then, feeling sorry for the hermit, he said, "You are tired. Let me take the spade and work a while for you." After observing the activities of hermit, the king felt sorry for hermit. So he asked the spade from him and he requested the king to allow him for some work. "You are tired. Let me take the spade and work a while for you." The hermit silently handed over the spade and sat down on the ground. Look, when king asked the spade from hermit and requested him to allow for digging for him, at that time the hermit silently handed over the spade and sat down on the ground without neglecting. Hermit silently handed over the spade and sat down on the ground. When he had dug two beds, the king stopped and repeated his questions. When the king dug two beds, at that time he stopped and he again repeated his questions. He again asked his questions to that holy person, to that hermit. For that purpose he had gone there. After digging two pits, he again repeated his three questions. The hermit again gave no answers, but arose, stretched out his hand for the spade and said, "Now rest a while and let me work a bit." But in this second time also, he didn't give any answer. In this time also, hermit didn't give any answer, but stood up, stretched out his hand for spade. It means he asked the spade and said, hermit, after taking spade, he advised the king to take rest for some while and allow him to work. Look, without giving answers of his three questions, hermit just asked that spade and advised him to rest and allow him to work. But the king did not give him the spade, continued to dig. But look what happened. The king did not give his spade to him. He himself continued that work of digging because he must have realized the condition of hermit. The hermit was very weak in the health, so he felt sorry for the king. So, without giving spade to hermit, he himself continued working. 1 hour passed, another. Okay. For the second time also, the hermit didn't answer but just continued his digging. 1 hour passed, another hour passed. The sun began to sink began behind the trees. And the king at last stuck the spade into the ground and said, I came to you, wise one, for answer of my questions. 1 hour passed, 2, 3 hours passed. It was getting evening. The sun began to sink behind the trees. It means it started getting evening. The king at last was tired by digging, so he stuck the spade into the ground and clearly told hermit that he had gone there, he had visited him for getting answers of his questions. When the king didn't get his answers, at that time, till evening he waited, yet he didn't get the answers of his three questions. So, after getting tired from the work of digging, he stuck that spade into the ground and told him that he had been there for getting answers to his questions. If you can give me none, please say so. I will go home. He clearly asked if he couldn't answer of his questions, then hermit should tell so. He would go from there. He would leave that place. He means the king clearly asked if he was unable to answer of these three questions, he should tell in that way. He would leave the place. Here comes someone running, said hermit. But hermit again didn't reply anything. The hermit, without answering, he just told king, look, someone is coming. Let us see who it is. And hermit told king they should see who that person was, who was coming there. Now look, the king turned around and saw a bearded man come running out of the forest. The king turned around and he saw one bearded man who was running out from the forest. The man held his hands pressed against his stomach, and blood was flowing from under them. Look, that man had held his hands pressed against his stomach, and blood was flowing continuously from the stomach. It means that person had been badly wounded. There was very major injury in his stomach, and so he had held his hands on his stomach. Blood was flowing from that injury. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground, moaning feebly. Moaning means crying with pain, crying with grief. He had been badly injured. The blood was flowing continuously. So, he was moaning with cry. When he reached, that injured person reached the king at that time, he became unconscious, he fainted and fell on the ground. He was moaning, he was crying with pain. The king and the hermit unfastened the man's cloth. As soon as the king and hermit saw that person, saw the condition of that person, they instantly removed the man's clothing, unfastened that man's clothing. There was a large wound in his stomach. After removing his clothing, they saw a large wound in his stomach. The king washed it as well as he could and bandaged it with his handkerchief and towel the hermit. Look, what a generosity the king had shown. He was king 8. He, without hesitation, without refusing, he himself washed the wound of that common person. He himself washed the wound of that common person and bandaged it with his handkerchief as well as towel which the hermit had. Look.
एकच मिनिट हे असं चालू झालं आता हे दिसते का इकडे चालतं
Look, without neglecting or refusing that person, the king himself washed the wound of that injured person. Not only washed but also bandaged with his handkerchief and also with towel which the hermit had. But the blood would not stop flowing. And the king again and again removed the bandage soaked with warm blood and washed it and rebandaged the wound. But the blood was not stopped to flow. The king was again and again removing the bandage which was getting soaked with warm blood. He would wash again and rebandage the wound of that person. Look, he was a king, but he was not thinking that were of so less value, of so insulting. He was just saving the life of that person. He was just showing the humanity at that time. He was not showing his kingness at that time. And it is the life. And he was the real king. You must have understood how was he ruling over his kingdom with that thought, with that behavior. He was just showing humanity rather than showing his kingness at that time. So, after realizing that intensity of injury, after sensing the blood was not stopping, he was again and again washing and rebandaging the wound. When at last the blood stopped flowing, the man revived and asked for something to drink. Finally, the blood stopped flowing. That man became a bit conscious. The man revived and he asked for something to drink. The king brought some fresh water and gave it to him. After getting in conscious state, the king brought some fresh water. After getting conscious, he asked something to drink. Then the king himself brought some fresh water and gave it to him. In that way, the king and hermit saved the life of that injured person. Not the hermit, but king had saved the life of that injured person. Meanwhile, the sun had set and it had become cool. Meanwhile, the sun had been set and it had become night time. Meanwhile, the sun had set and it had become cool. So the king, with the hermit's help, carried wounded man into the court. After getting night time, after the sun had been setting, the king, with the help of hermit, took that wounded man into the man lay there quietly with his eyes closed. The man had been lying there quietly with his eyes closed. By now, the king was so tired after his walk and the work he had done that he lay down himself and also fell asleep. The king himself was so tired due to daily work, due to that digging, and so he also fell asleep. Look, the king had been also tired due to day's work of the digging, so he fell asleep soundly. When he awoke in the morning, it took him some time to remember where he was and who was the strange bearded man lying by his side and gazing intently to him, intently, purposefully, very attentively, very eagerly. When the king awoke in the next morning, at that time it took some time to realize where he was and who was that strange man lying by his side, and he was gazing intently at him. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in his weak voice, when he saw the king was awake and was looking at him. Look. Saw that king and saw that the king was looking at him at that time. That injured person, that bearded person, asked his forgiveness. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice, when he saw that the king was awake and was looking at him. When that injured person saw the king awakened, and when he saw that king was looking at him at that time, he directly asked his forgiveness. "I do not know you, and I have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. When the king listened, that person asking his forgiveness at that time, he got confused, he got surprised. What was that person begging his pardon from him? What was the reason? He directly told, the king told that person he didn't know him and he had nothing to forgive him. Why was he asking his forgiveness from him? "I do not know you and I have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. Look, the king got really shocked when he listened asking his forgiveness from the king. So he told him that the king did not know that person, and according to him, he did not have anything to forgive him. Then why was he asking his forgiveness? Now look, what is the reply of that injured person? The king was totally confused. Why was he asking his forgiveness? "You do not know me, but I know you." The injured person replied, the king did not that injured person, but that injured person knew very well, "I am that enemy of yours who swore promised to revenge himself on you because you killed his brother and seized his property." That injured person he knew the king very well because he was his enemy, who has promised to take revenge of him. because he had killed, the king had killed his brother and seized his property. That man cleared why had he gone there and who was that person who he indulged himself. Okay. I stop here. I continue next part in next lecture.